Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Grand Processional led in by the University Award winners from the class of 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we welcome the Chancellor of SMU, Mr. Lim Chee-on, to officially open this year's commencement. Chancellor, please.
On behalf of Singapore Management University, I am pleased to extend my warmest welcome to our distinguished guests, faculty, graduates, and family members. I hereby declare Commencement 2024 open.
Thank you, Chancellor. May we invite everyone to take your seats, please. Guest of Honor, Mr. Sherman Kwek, SMU Chancellor, Mr. Lim Chi On, SMU Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Eddie Teo, Honorary Degree Recipient and Founding Chairman of SMU, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, Chairman of the SMU Board of Trustees, Mr. Piyush Gupta, members of the Board of Trustees, SMU President, Professor Lily Kong, Senior Management, Professor Timothy Clark, Senior Management, Faculty, distinguished guests, the graduating class of 2024, families and friends, and of course, those joining us virtually, a very warm welcome to today's commencement. We are excited to have all of you here today as we celebrate the achievements of our graduates. Without further ado, I would like to invite SMU Chairman Mr. Piyush Gupta on stage to share a few words of wisdom with the graduating class. Chairman, please.
Guest of Honor, Mr. Sherman Kwek, Group CEO of City Developments Limited, Chancellor of Singapore Management University, Mr. Lim Chi On, Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Eddie Teo, former Chairman of SMU and Honorary Degree Recipient, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, members of the Board of Trustees, SMU President, President Lily Kong, faculty, staff, and I guess most important, the class of 2024, parents and guests. Welcome to SMU's commencement for 2024. Today marks a significant milestone in the lives of many of you as we gather here to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2024 and celebrate the incredible journey you have undertaken at SMU. As chairman of this prestigious university, it is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today. First and foremost, I must extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the faculty members and staff who have dedicated themselves to imparting knowledge, guiding and mentoring our students through their time at SMU. Your commitment and passion to an education that encourages our students to apply themselves towards addressing real societal issues has played a pivotal role in shaping the bright minds we see before us today. To our graduates, I congratulate you. As I mentioned before, this is indeed one of the most important milestones in your lives, perhaps also in the lives of your parents. So embrace the success and savor the sense of accomplishment. I want you to take a moment to reflect on the incredible transformation you have undergone during your time at SMU. You worked tirelessly, overcoming challenges and embracing opportunities, all in pursuit of knowledge and personal growth. Today, as you stand on the threshold of a new chapter in your lives, I encourage you to always embrace integrity, excellence, and a passion for lifelong learning, and make a positive impact in whatever field you've chosen to build your career. It's my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Sherman Kwek, Group CEO, City Developments Limited. Mr. Kwek was once a fresh business graduate like you. Actually, he looks young enough to be a fresh business graduate even today. So please listen and learn from his story. Sherman graduated from Boston University with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and has worked in New York, in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, and in Singapore. Prior to joining CDL, Mr. Kwek was the CEO of City eSolutions Limited, a Hong Kong-listed company that was formerly a subsidiary of the group. And before that, the Chief Operating Officer of Conferral Corporation Limited and an Executive Director of HL Global Enterprises Limited, both listed companies in Singapore. In the earlier part of his career, he worked in technology venture capital, he worked in investment banking, he worked in hospitality management, he worked in real estate private equity. You got to figure where did he not work? Mr. Quek assumed his current role as CDL's Group Chief Executive Officer in January 2018 and was appointed as Executive Director in May 2019. Since 2019, Mr. Quek has served on 2 Business China subcommittees. He joined the Board of Trustees of the Chinese Development Assistance Council in June 2020. He became a member of Sing Health's Property Committee in 2021. In 2022, he was appointed to the board of IREIT's Global Manager and the Advisory Board of the National Youth Achievement Award. By October 23, he joined the board of Sing Health, and in Jan 24, just earlier this year, he became chairman of Sing Health's Property Committee, as well as a member of MOH Holdings Healthcare Infrastructure and Planning Committee. So a long list of achievements and a long variety of different career opportunities. Graduates, as you embark on your respective journeys, I hope you will learn from Mr. Quek's example. Do not expect or even seek a linear career path. Build your career portfolio by expanding your career horizons in different roles, different industries, and even different countries if good opportunities arise. Each and every one of you possesses unique talents and abilities that can help you thrive and make your mark wherever you go to and in whatever you do. Embrace your individuality, harness your strengths, trust the spark within you, and always aim to make a positive impact beyond yourself. In conclusion, I would once again like to extend my warmest congratulations to the class of 2024 and to the faculty, the friends, and family members who have supported you. You have not only earned a degree, you've also gained invaluable experiences and forged relationships that will last a lifetime. Now, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Mr. Sherman Quek, who will impart his wisdom and inspire us with his remarkable journey. Thank you, and may your futures be filled with purpose, success, and fulfillment. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. We would now like to invite our guest of honor, Mr. Sherman Quek, Group Chief Executive Officer of City Developments Limited, on stage to address us. Mr. Quek, please.
Mr. Lim Chi-on, Chancellor of Singapore Management University, Mr. Eddie Teo, Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Piyush Gupta, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and all members of the Board of Trustees, Professor Lily Kong, President, Mr. Ho Kwong Ping, Founding Chairman and Honorary Degree Recipient, faculty and distinguished guests, parents and graduates, a very good afternoon, and I'm very pleased to be here to join everyone for such a joyous occasion. It is my first time attending a commencement ceremony that isn't my own. Mine was back in 1997, and furthermore giving a speech. Hence, I'm extremely honored to be here. I was actually also very nervous in the lead up to this, but much thanks to Mr. Gupta, the chairman of the Board of Trustees. I mean, he gave such overly, complimentary introduction of me that immediately relaxed my nerves, because I can only disappoint, right, from this point on. So, but really, thank you very much, Piyush, who is also a dear friend I've known for many years. SMU is renowned for producing some of the finest graduates, and in fact, we have many working in our company, City Developments Limited, or CDL, as we are affectionately known. We are a property developer. So I can really attest to the quality of the education and preparation that you have all received here. When SMU first contacted me about giving the address at Commencement 2024, they suggested a variety of topics that I could speak about. with an emphasis on sustainability, since CDL happens to be a leading company in that space. While climate change is very worrying, and we must indeed accelerate action to save our planet, I kind of figured you have plenty of time to read up on all this good stuff, and I actually felt that it would be perhaps more useful, more helpful, if I were to share some advice and pointers from my own journey, spanning more than 2 decades in the business world. As I was typing up my speech yesterday, I tried to focus on a few impactful points that I would like to get across. Considering I have time constraints, I've only been allocated 10 minutes, which I'm pretty sure is not going to be enough, but anyway, I'll try not to keep this too long. I obviously can't cover everything. Needless to say, I won't go over some of the basic things in life that all of you already know, such as the importance of staying healthy, because this affects how long and how far your journey goes. So please exercise and eat well. Okay, I'll focus on the 3 things that I feel would be important to keep in mind for individuals that are just embarking on their career. So the first thing I want to talk about, and probably the longest part of my address today, is about resilience. We've all heard this term used plenty of times over the past few years, notably during the COVID pandemic, when we had to rough it out through very unprecedented times. But I firmly believe there is nothing more important than embodying this trait, be it in your personal or professional lives. Back then, during the pandemic, CDL's business was very deeply impacted across our residential, office, retail, and hospitality portfolio. It was a very challenging time, resolving problems and putting out fires while living under the shadow of COVID, which majorly disrupted all of our operations and severely tested our mental resolve as we grappled and tried to adjust to a new normal. Maybe some of you here were happy that you didn't have to attend class during circuit breaker, but for the rest of us, we were confronted with challenges that we had never faced before. On top of all that, as some of you would have read in the news, CDL also had to deal with the ugly fallout from a sizable investment in China. Why did things go wrong? Well, rewinding a bit, in 2020, I think after 10 years of gradual expansion in China, I felt that, our presence there, was growing far too slowly, and I really wanted to accelerate things. After all, China is a big market, right, with a vast population, and, and the population has over 1.4 billion, right, which is almost 20% of the world's population. So it's a market that's big and one that we simply cannot ignore. So by acquiring a 51% stake in a top 100 Chinese developer called Sincere, and in case any of you don't think that top 100 is a big deal, actually in China there are over 100,000 developers. So top 100 is a very big deal. It's like the gold standard for the biggest and the best. So basically by acquiring a 51% stake in a PRC developer, I felt that in a stroke of a pen, it would fast-track our efforts and strongly establish us as a leading developer in China. From being only in 3 cities in China and with 150 staff, the Sincere investment will propel CDL up to 20 cities, and I would have a staff strength on the ground of over 2,000 employees. And I would also take control of a land bank that could yield close to 100 million square feet of buildable area. So truly, would scale us up in an instant. Unfortunately, I underestimated the severity of the pandemic and how long it would last. I thought it would be over within a year, and I think some people also didn't take the pandemic too seriously at the beginning. But as we have witnessed subsequently, right, the pandemic ended up dragging on for many years and came with many waves and numerous variants. So that's one thing that definitely, put a lot of strain on a lot of my plans, including this investment in Sincere. I also didn't anticipate that the Chinese government would crack down on the real estate sector with their 3 red lines policies, which basically effectively curbs the amount of debt that a PRC developer can take on. This ended up putting far too much pressure on Sincere, and Sincere eventually entered bankruptcy restructuring in 2021. CDL reported a huge loss of 1.9 billion Sing dollars in 2020, much of that attributed to the write-off of the investment in Sincere, and marking the first ever loss in the history of the company. So not the greatest thing to have as part of your track record and legacy. So as you all can imagine, I was under so much pressure then, and really felt my world was collapsing around me. There were calls for me to resign, both internally and externally, and the CDR board even commissioned an inquiry into my handling of the due diligence and investment process for the Sincere investment. You know, I'll be honest with all of you, I wanted to hide my face in the sand and run away from all the unpleasantness. I even typed up my resignation letter and was this close to throwing it in quite a number of times. You know, I was completely buried in despair. After all, it was not long before that in 2018, you know, when I first took over as the CEO, the market cheered my appointment, and many felt that it would usher in a new era of dynamism and innovation within CDL. And I believe I had executed well on all the initiatives I had set out to do. But then suddenly, when the Sincere investment had exploded, I went from hero to zero overnight. Most people wanted to throw me under a bus, and I felt I was public enemy number one. I really had to reach deep within myself to find the strength to push on every single day. Now, in hindsight, while it was a particularly painful period which saw me emerging with many bruises, I've also come away with many valuable lessons. Above all else, I recognized the importance of being resilient and not giving up, no matter how bad things are. Honestly, it's just easier to throw in the towel, right, and let someone else clean up the mess, you know. But it's much harder to push on and to personally shoulder the responsibility and the consequences that come with your actions. Even now, you know, I meet investors all the time. I still get investors that occasionally bring up the Sincere investment, and they give me a lot of grief about it. But I accept it as a consequence for what has happened, and as long as I'm still at the helm of CDL, I can only strive to do better and not allow such things to happen on my watch again. So, you know, I want to share a meaningful quote with all of you. You know, you're all a very young audience, so many of, especially the graduates, so many of you may be too young to know much about the Rocky movies that were made in the 70s and 80s. You know, those are the movies where Sylvester Stallone stars as a boxer with grit called Rocky Balboa. You know, but then again, there have been several new modern iterations and sequels done, so maybe most of you are familiar. One quote that Rocky made is particularly relevant and really would like to share it with you. He said, "The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You or me or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." And he's right. You know, nothing will ever hit you as hard as life. You think about all the things that you've been through in life, you know, be it illnesses, setbacks, disappointments. Life can throw you many curveballs. But if you get knocked down, get back up and fight on. Don't give up, okay? And that's the amazing thing about the human spirit. Just when you think you can't deal with the pain, you can't deal with the stress, when you feel that the odds are too great to overcome, if you reach deep within, you will find the courage and determination to push on. In fact, right after Rocky says, "That's how winning is done," actually right after that, there's another verse that's actually also very meaningful. He said, "Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody." Okay? And again, Rocky is right? We have to take ownership for our life and our decisions, and we shouldn't blame others. Rather than making excuses for our failures and our setbacks, we should find a way to come back stronger, tougher, and better. And by the way, when many of you eventually get into senior positions, I strongly advise you never to go online and search on social media or on the web what people say, okay, about you. During the Sincere saga, I was so desperate that I would go online hoping to find some modicum of, of relief. And actually, it made things much worse. I would search online and end up in all these forums, Hardware, Zona, you name it. And people said the meanest things about me. Some called me 败家子, okay, which in English means someone who squanders and wrecks his family wealth. Some even called me fat. Hey, I know I'm slightly overweight, but not that bad, right? So, But after a while, I realized that reading these forums only caused me to feel low self-esteem and negativity. The worst thing about these online forums is that anyone can go on it and say anything that they want because there is no accountability and all these netizens are shrouded in a veil of anonymity, right? So, in fact, we have seen so much fake news emerging that our own government even had to pass the POFMA Act against it, So whatever you do, please don't go reading about yourself online. Focus on the task at hand, block out all the noise and criticism, and muster up the courage to fight on. Okay? While I've been through many challenges and baptisms of fire in my career, the Sincere saga was absolutely the darkest and most painful one. But it taught me the importance of being resilient and mentally strong. Now, I'm through with the bulk of my speech already, but I still have 2 more points I want to share, especially with our graduates today. So the second thing I want to share about is gut instinct. Okay, I think we've all heard, okay, about people who have that innate gut instinct, and they can just size up a situation and know what is the correct thing to do. Okay. Well, I personally feel that gut instinct, or some people call it gut feel, is overrated, okay? Early on in my career, I would also, I also relied on gut feel to make certain decisions. Most of the time, I would make the right call, and it would embolden me. I started to feel that, yeah, I have the same gut instinct as all these legendary entrepreneurs, I'm good, But the truth is, I got lucky, okay? If you think about it, right, back then in the early generations, right, especially when there wasn't the internet, information wasn't readily available. So the early generation of entrepreneurs had to rely on some measure of gut instinct, But now, I think with the availability of information and the transparency of the market, right, there is no need to tap on your gut feel, at least not too much, lah. Okay, make use of the information available to you to make informed decisions and try to leave as little to chance as possible. Yes, you may still have to make an ultimate call after doing all the analysis, but at least you've maximized your chances of making the right decision. Now, having said that, I do also have to caution you not to get plagued by analysis paralysis, okay, where overanalyzing or overthinking a situation can cause decision-making to become paralyzed, meaning that no solution or course of action is decided upon within a natural or required time frame, right? Over the past few decades, I've seen instances where my competitors have beaten me to the trophy because, we were too obsessed with analyzing reams of data. Of course, when I got better at evaluating things, I've also beaten my competitors by making quicker and better decisions. So speed is critical in business, and I think you will all need to find a balance between speed and accuracy. Now, down to my third and last thing I want to share today, especially since I've overrun my welcome with this long speech, is the importance of family planning. I only got married at the age of 43, and my daughter was born when I was 45, so that was 3 years ago. I had the misconception that if I got married too early or if I have kids too early, you know, my career would have to take a back seat, and I would not be as effective. I couldn't be the greatest potential, you know, of myself, you know. However, reality couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, I think the earlier you get married and do your family planning, the less stress you will have because you are still in the early stages of your career. This will leave you with more time to focus on bigger things down the road. To the graduates, I swear the parents didn't pay me to say all this, okay? I'm sharing with you from my personal experiences, you know. So I think, and also I think if you intend to have kids, right, you don't want to be too old by the time your kids grow up. I mean, think about it, when my daughter is 20, I will be 65. Okay, this is totally not ideal at all, and even now I can barely keep up with her because she has so much energy, you know. And while I'm on this topic, you know, perhaps I should also add that the most important decision any of you will ever make in your lives has nothing to do with money or career, but rather who you marry. Okay, even the legendary Warren Buffett, right, has echoed this sentiment. He said, marry the right person, I'm serious about that. It will make more difference in your life. It will change your aspirations, all kinds of things. So to all of you, graduates, please choose wisely, but don't delay the decision for too long. Huh? So, okay, anyway, in closing, I wish to thank SMU for giving me the privilege of being the guest of honor today and allowing me to share some of my life experiences with you. And once again, congratulations to all the graduates present, and I wish you a remarkable and fulfilling journey ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Quek. SMU awards honorary degrees to distinguished individuals in recognition and honor of their monumental achievements. SMU is proud to confer an honorary degree upon an exceptional individual today. May I invite SMU Chairman back on stage to deliver the citation for our honorary degree recipient. Chairman, please.
Thank you. Chairman, thank you for that extraordinarily eloquent and interesting address. I was whispering to Eddie, on the family planning thing, I'm not sure, were you paid by the government to say that, or was that your own? And your other observation about 65 and being worried about it, well, I'm only a year away. I'd really be sweating by now. You know, this part of today's program gives me the greatest degree of excitement and privilege, and that is to read the citation for conferring the honorary doctorate on Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, our founding chairman. Just prior to walking in, KP said, oh, you know, I'm sure you're going to take digs at me or yank my chain. And normally I would, because I'm that sort of guy. But this is too important and too serious to take any digs at all, KP. I think Singapore Management University wishes to confer upon Mr. Ho Kwon Ping the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, in recognition of his enormous and enduring contribution as its founding chairman. I often think KP is identified with SMU, SMU is identified with KP. SMU is Singapore's first publicly funded autonomous university and the first to be modeled after US Ivy League universities, welcomed its inaugural batch of 306 students with great promise and ambition in 2000. Under Mr. Ho's visionary leadership and dedicated stewardship, the university has transformed from a single school of business into a vibrant and dynamic institution now home to nearly 14,000 undergraduate and postgraduate students, over 35,000 participants in professional and continuing education programs, and more than 36,000 alumni across 8 distinguished schools. These schools span diverse fields such as accountancy, computing and information systems, economics, law, social sciences, and the recently launched College of Integrative Studies and College of Graduate Research Studies. Mr. Ho's unwavering commitment to broadening the university's scope beyond business management to a more expansive notion of management has been instrumental in establishing SMU's identity. His efforts ensured that SMU is internationally recognized for its world-class research, emphasizing rigorous disciplinary research, strengthened further by high-impact, multi- and interdisciplinary studies that address globally relevant issues impacting business, government, and industry. Having crafted SMU's first vision in 1998, Mr. Ho remarked in 2013 that the university had reached a critical inflection point. It was timely for SMU to chart its way forward with the new Vision 2025, which was later launched in 2014. His passion for internationalization also led to the establishment of the SMU International Advisory Councils from 2017, aimed at strengthening SMU's collaboration and engagement with government, academic, and business communities in the region. Today, 7 councils with 70 members collectively have been set up in China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. Through these councils, SMU has made valuable contributions to thought leadership and regional impact, and benefited from valuable insights and advice on working in the region. The board, under Mr. Ho's leadership, approved the establishment of SMU's first 3 overseas centers. In December 2022, SMU opened the first in Jakarta, followed by Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh City, which were launched in 23 and 24 respectively after he stepped down as chairman. In recognition of his invaluable contributions to the founding and establishment of SMU, Mr. Ho was awarded the Meritorious Service Medal in 2009. This was followed by one of the nation's highest honors in 2017, the prestigious Distinguished Service Order in the National Day Awards. Reflecting on his journey, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping once said, "It has been one of the most significant journeys of my life to have been part of the team of visionary people, from faculty to students, management to trustees, who believed that we could make a difference for young Singaporeans. My guiding principle from the very beginning to now is that nothing can hold us back from achieving our greatest dreams, except our own self-limiting fear of failure, innovation, and change. We created a vision of what an SMU education should be, and then day by day, piece by piece, we collectively executed that vision. I retire now with the deepest confidence that what we put in place over the last 25 years will be a solid foundation upon which an even bolder, idealistic vision can become reality." In recognition of his exceptional achievements and service to this institution, and for transforming the educational landscape in Singapore, Singapore Management University is proud to confer upon Mr. Ho Kwon Ping the degree of Doctor of Laws, honorary causa. He stands as an inspiration to us all, and we are truly honored to recognize him in this way.
Thank you, Chairman. Please remain on stage. We now invite our honorary degree recipient, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, accompanied by our SMU Chancellor, on stage for the conferment and presentation of the honorary degree. Mr. Ho and Chancellor, please. We now invite SMU Chancellor to confer the honorary degree. Chancellor, please.
By the power granted pursuant to the Singapore Management University Act, I hereby confer upon Mr. Ho Kwam Ping the degree Doctor of Laws, Honoris Causa, and admit you to all the accompanying rights and privileges.
Chancellor, may we invite you to place the university hood on Mr. Ho. Chancellor will now present the degree Doctor of Laws Honoris Causa to Mr. Ho. May we invite Mr. Sherman Kwek, Pro-Chancellor, President and Provost, to join us on stage for a group photo to commemorate the special occasion. Thank you. May I invite all of you back to your seats and Mr. Ho to the rostrum to deliver his acceptance speech.
Good afternoon. You know, if I knew that upon my retirement I would get this fantastic award, I would have voluntarily retired much earlier rather than have to serve 25 years. And I thought today, coming down here, it was a bit like a deja vu event, and you know, I thought, well, it's going to be fine. I've done this for 20 over times. But of course, this time I'm not wearing Piyush's gown. They gave me this funny gown where there's no pockets. So when the saying, you have to pull something out of your sleeve, it's really accurate. I had to put my speech in my sleeve. So that's proof that you may expect things to be always the same, but sometimes they'll come out right through, and you must never take anything for granted. So anyway, SMU Chancellor, Mr. Lim Chi On, Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Eddie Teo, Guest of Honor, Sherman Kwek, Chairman of the Board, Piyush Gupta, President Professor Lily Kong, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I really am truly deeply touched today by SMU conferring me with this honorary degree. Since my retirement not too long ago, I've often caught myself saying we when referring to SMU even after my retirement. I guess now that I'm officially an honorary alumnus, I can say we without correcting myself and with genuine pride. And when you do finally have a fantastic SMU alumni club, I have been granted by the Chancellor all the accompanying privileges and rights. So remember that, Mr. Lim Chi On. You know, in what seems like eons ago, when asked to start a new university, I turned for advice to our first president, Professor Janice Bellacci. I asked her for the definition of a university, and I've always remembered her succinct reply. She said that a university is an institution with only two tasks: to transmit knowledge and to create knowledge, meaning teaching and research. To that definition, I added, when I started, a third component, and that is to inspire change through knowledge. I felt that SMU needed another defining purpose to differentiate itself not only from the other excellent local universities, but to inspire SMU's own pioneers and future legacy builders to strive for something more than pure academic quality, important though that may be. I felt that SMU, being then the only university focusing on management and the social sciences, we could have another dimension, to be a societal think tank where scholars, students, and society at large could gather in a crucible of ideas, formation, and exchange. We could ultimately be measured not just by comparative university rankings, but also by our societal impact. Within a few years of formation, SMU already proved to be an agent of social change. Our unique pedagogy, our focus on social engagement and responsibility, and our inspiring and innovative faculty produced succeeding cohorts of students who were not only academically high-achieving, but also confident, articulate, problem-solving, and with self-agency, traits not previously associated with young Singaporeans. When SMU moved to its present and final campus, we truly became a university in and of the city and started initiatives related to urban society issues. And as a side comment, now that I'm no longer chairman, I do hope that we can, in the near future, form, ahead of other universities in Singapore, a full-fledged school of urban studies, rather than just a single institute, so that this school could become a whole-of-university undertaking, cutting across multiple academic disciplines. We could be a leader in studying and conceptualizing innovative responses to increasingly urgent, complex, and global urban challenges. Mr. Chairman, Professor, can do, I hope. I'll be watching from the sidelines as an honorary alumnus. Now, with our postgraduate programs and enrollment size almost roughly equal to our undergraduate capabilities, plus our outreach to the region, which is even deeper and broader than the other local universities, SMU's societal impact will be even greater. What more then can we do to inspire change through knowledge? One area is societal dissonance and its ominous spread across the world, but particularly in the developed Western nations, indeed almost all of Western civilization. Increasing diversity in self-identities, racial mix, religious fervor, or wealth disparity, to name just a few markers, has ironically led not to more inclusivity, but simply to more dissonance. Societal frictions from economic and political and socioeconomic and social cultural are becoming tectonic plates grinding towards a massive upheaval. The political divisiveness in Europe and the USA is just the tip of an iceberg with far more dangerous underlying contradictions. And adding to that is the even more volatile prospect of a civilizational reset, as China, not just as an economic or political power, but as an entire civilization, claims its space under the sun, and quite intentionally without any reference or deference to Western norms. Most Asian societies emphasize, though warily, with this aspiration, but Western civilization somehow cannot accept that societies can be prosperous and harmonious without accepting Western norms. And therein lies the seeds for a clash of civilizations. I do believe that tremendous upheaval is coming in the years ahead, within societies and between civilizations. The signs are as visible as the darkening sky just before thunderstorms. The question then is, how can tiny Singapore and even tinier SMU, in addition to knowledge transmission and creation, how can we help to channel the direction of this upheaval towards a more peaceful equilibrium? We all know in Singapore that building harmony is hard work. Sometimes it requires coercive, even illiberal governance to battle against the divisive forces of ethnicity, religion, and other aspects of identity. Governments have learned that harmony is a very slippery thing. It is on one hand too easy to overreach, with harmony becoming nothing more than the oppressive silence of autocracy, or to underreach with excessive liberalism descending into disarray. But whether through learned mistakes or dogged perseverance, and most likely a combination of the two, Singapore, its people, as much as its leaders, has become a shining example of how diversity and disparity need not lead to dissonance. As a society steeped in all the best values and practices of our colonial heritage, which is largely Western, but anchored by the ancient traditions of South Asia, Islamic, and Confucian civilizations, does Singapore's clear and purposeful pursuit of genuine multi-religious, multiracial, and multicultural harmony contain lessons for other very diverse but divided societies? Does Singapore's own experience with societal harmony contain any lessons from which a social-political model can be created? Indeed, what of the Singapore experience was even fortuitous rather than intentionally created? What mistakes were made from which lessons can be learned? What governance or social engineering policies worked or did not, and why? What lessons can or cannot be extrapolated for other societies because of the uniqueness of Singapore's situation? What mix of sectoral thought leadership is necessary for a whole of society buy-in? These are just a few of the intriguing questions which SMU can help to answer, just simply because we're the only true social sciences university focused on the management of change in all its forms. For over 1,000 years, universities have been humankind's main link to its past and its future. That critical role remains unchanged. As we witness the closing of the Western mind and a yet uncertain assertiveness on the Asian mindset, what can Western-oriented but Asian-anchored universities such as SMU provide in thought leadership? I ask these questions, but I do not have the answers. Your job is to find not the one, but the many answers, and not only for now, nor next year, but for the decades to come. And young and impudent though we are amongst the world's greatest and oldest universities, SMU has shown a vigor, vitality, and clarity of thought leadership which propelled us from insignificance to where we stand today. Tomorrow, we must dare to inspire change through knowledge, beyond a university's two other tasks of transmitting and creating knowledge. Troubled times call for wisdom and daring, two perhaps apparently contradictory, but actually intertwined attributes. I wish you all both daring and wisdom in the many years ahead. And thank you again for this wonderful honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ho. May we invite you back to your seat, please?
Before I came to SMU, I was more on the introverted side. I would keep quiet in class, I wouldn't speak up as much, but the SMU experience has given me the courage to be able to speak up.
SMU provides a lot of leadership opportunities, such as being part of CCAs, constituent bodies, and also in organizing events such as camp and pageant. I learned a lot from this, some sort of people management skills, and also being able to learn more about myself, which is very relevant for the workplace where you really have to deal with people and also face real problems.
The most memorable thing is probably SMUX projects. These are tight projects with industry partners. The one that I'm currently doing is tied with the National Heritage Board as well as URA. It was very memorable because I saw my recommendations being used in the real world as policies.
I had the privilege to go on an international exchange program to London, and it gave me the opportunity to really travel the world, meet international students, which gave me a global perspective on many issues.
I would like to thank my professors, my parents, and my friends for the many, many little ways that they've supported me throughout my life in SMU.
So I'd like to thank my parents who have been very supportive of me throughout my education journey and understanding that I don't have as much time because of my academic workload. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I'd also like to thank profs for helping me above and beyond academia. Finally, I'd like to thank friends who have provided me warmth throughout my SMU journey. It won't be the same without you. Thanks, you all.
If I had one piece of advice to give myself, it would definitely be to step out of my comfort zone and to try things that I normally wouldn't have tried.
I would tell my younger self that the 4 years will fly by very, very quickly, and I should treasure this freedom that I have to spend the time with the people I love.
I think don't take yourself too seriously. I was always quite scared to put myself out there and also just try things that I was interested in, but over the course of pushing myself out of my comfort zone, doing all sorts of different things, sometimes it works out and sometimes it fails. But at the end of the day, you always have a story and you always learn something from it.
It is now time for the moment we've all been waiting for, the conferral of degrees. Graduates, please rise. We now invite SMU Chancellor Mr. Lim Chi-on, accompanied by SMU President and SMU Provost, on stage to officially confer the undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. Let us welcome them to the stage with a round of applause. Chancellor, please.
By the powers granted pursuant to the Singapore Management University Act, I hereby confer upon you the degrees shown respectively and admit you to all the accompanying rights, privileges, and responsibilities. You are henceforth proud graduates of this university, and I bid you to always uphold the good name and standards of this institution. Congratulations.
Thank you all. I would like to invite Chancellor and SMU Provost back to your seats and President Lily Kong to the rostrum. Graduates, please be seated. Professor Lily Kong will now address us. Professor, please.
Guest of Honor, Mr. Sherman Kwek, Group CEO of City Developments Limited, Chancellor of Singapore Management University, Mr. Lim Chi-on, Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Eddie Teo, former Chairman of SMU and Honorary degree recipient, Mr. Ho Kwam Ping, Chairman of the SMU Board of Trustees, Mr. Piyush Gupta, and members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and the class of 2024, parents, and guests. Very good afternoon to all of you. In my lifetime, I have attended many, many commencement ceremonies. They used to be called convocation ceremonies. The first that I attended, of course, was my own as a fresh graduate back in 1986. And I have to confess that I didn't listen to the speeches very much. And I was a little bit self-absorbed. I was delighted that I had been conferred a first-class degree, and the first in my family to get that. And I was sitting and dreaming and thinking about things. And the guest of honor spoke about the difficult times in which the graduates were getting into the world. Or at least that was what I was told later because I wasn't paying attention. The journalist came after me after that to say, you know, for these first-class honors recipients, let's ask your thoughts about the speech. And I thought, damn, I wasn't paying attention. Now today, I have paid rapt attention to the speeches that were delivered. Not because I had to, not because there are journalists after me after this, but because they were absolutely stirring and amazing speeches that we've heard. And I hope that each and every one of you have paid attention to what was being said. To Sherman Quek, our guest of honor, I thank you deeply for sharing so candidly and from the depths of your own experience what resilience means, what failure means, what being beaten up means, and what picking yourself up when you fall means. And I think we could not have had a more stirring and appealing rendition of that personal experience than we've heard today. So I'd like to invite you to join me in a round of applause once again for our guest of honor. I found myself listening, of course, with rapt attention to my chairman, because he's my chairman and my boss, but I also found myself listening with rapt attention to Mr. Ho Kwam Ping, my former chairman. Aside from the fact that we always sat once a month together to eat donuts and talk about the university, today's speech reminded me about why I wanted to join SMU, first as provost and then as president. There is a purpose beyond just being the president of a university, being a leader, being a provost. There is a purpose to what we're doing at an academic institution such as the university, and in particular the Singapore Management University. And it is to transform and touch the lives of individuals who sit in front of us today, who have spent about 4 years with us. At lunch, when I sat with some of our graduates, I heard about the 7 internships that one single student did. I heard about, and it's not about the number, but about the purposefulness with which she went about looking for the internships. She wanted to make a difference in the world, Hui Ling, and she wanted to do that in the space of sustainability. And she went for one internship after another in Singapore and overseas. She listened to seniors who had advice for her. She listened to our colleagues, my colleagues in the Career Center. She listened to friends, and she picked up on the cues that were given to her, and she took advantage of the opportunities that my colleagues and I worked so very hard to deliver to you. And it made our efforts completely worthwhile. But it is not just in education that we make a difference, or we seek to make a difference. It is also through that creation of knowledge that KP talks about. Universities today have gotten caught up in the game of rankings and so forth. And by research, we mean which other academic cites our papers? Where are we publishing? And all of that has its own importance. But beyond that, it is also about how our research makes a difference to community and society. And it is that societal impact that we want to add as a dimension to what we do in the creation of knowledge. And for those of you who are graduating, I know that some of you are looking to join the research endeavor. I hope you will remember that it is not about careerism. It is about what difference you make through your research to the community out there. For those of you who don't care to join research, but have been part of that enterprise, so to speak, I hope that you have found that whether it is research through an SMU X module, as one of your friends has articulated on the screen, or it is through your own personal thesis, you have found a meaning in undertaking that work that goes beyond the grades. And so that holistic sense of what a university stands for is the message I took away from Mr. Ho Kwam Peng's message, and I thank you for reminding us. I have jettisoned the speech that was written for me in the interest of speaking what comes from the heart, but just so that for those people who have actually toiled away at writing the speech, I will draw some themes from it to share with you. There are two there. One picks up on what Sherman, our guest of honor, was talking about, and that is resilience. My colleagues thought it was important for me to share with you, our graduates now, moving from graduate to graduate, that in your work life, you will find many moments of stress. You will find many, many hours when you're toiling away and thinking, why am I doing this? And you're going to be under that mental stress. They wanted me to remind you, and I agree with them, that above everything else, please ensure that you keep healthy. And this is a message that I think Sherman also shared with you. I could not share with you with the same depth of feeling that he communicated about what falling means, what resilience means. But I share with him that conviction that you can only go far if you keep yourself well. First message. The second message, I think is coincidental. I didn't look at Sherman's speech before, and I don't think you took a look at mine. But it is also about social media, and particularly for your generation. So many of you live in social media. My colleagues and I were just marveling the other day at how you can all send messages without looking at your phone. With your phone in your pocket, you can type out your messages without a single typo. We're marveling at how you use all these different platforms to showcase yourselves. In the days when we were young, we wrote our diary and hid it away. We didn't want people to read what we wrote. Today, in social media, we want people to read what we write and to like what we write. And so you do all of that, and that's great. It creates a sense of community in cyberspace, but it can also, as Sherman said, be absolutely devastating. People can be extremely, extremely harsh in social media, and it can have an impact on you. And so that message of resilience, mental well-being on the one hand, and on the other, not living only in the world of social media and being sometimes devastated by it, is so important. Find the time not just to look at your phones as you're walking down the street. Find the time not to sit at the dinner table and only be looking at your phone when you have loved ones around you. And believe it or not, the loved ones will not always be there for you. So cherish the times that you have with them and talk to them, talk with them. Amongst our audience here today are your loved ones, your parents, your friends, hopefully your girlfriends and boyfriends so that you can get married earlier, as Sherman said. I was not paid to say this. But spend the time to turn to them, to thank them for what they have done for you and continue to do for you. So I want to end on a note of gratitude on your behalf to your families, your friends, for having supported your children, our students, over the last several years. And I want to thank you for having been friends of the university. Many of you actually support us in very many ways. I sincerely thank you for that and hope that you will remain friends of the university for a long time to come in multiple capacities. Thank you very much, and congratulations once again to the class of 2024.
Thank you, President. Please remain on stage. Established in 2010 and renamed in 2023 after SMU's founding president Founding Chairman Ho Kwon Ping, the Circle Award recognizes distinctive graduating students who have, during their studies at SMU, demonstrated the core Circle values of commitment, integrity, responsibility, collegiality, leadership, and excellence. It is now our pleasure to present the Ho Kwon Ping Circle Award winners. From the Lee Kong Chian School of Business, Lim Jia En. Ong Wai Jun Dylan. From the School of Accountancy, Oh Mi Woo. Heng Wei Shin. From the School of Economics, Sneha Murali. Yap Ru En. From the School of Computing and Information Systems, Chong Jan Han. Ko Hui Ching. From the School of Social Sciences, Janice Patricia. Lo Ye Yang Benedict. From the Yongpang House School of Law, Chia Ting Xuan Jordan. Natalia Beadle. May we invite Mr. Ho Kwon Ping to join us on stage for a group photo with the Circle Award winners. Mr. Ho, please. Thank you all. May I invite you back to your seats, please? Congratulations to all our Ho Kwon Ping Circle Award winners.
I benefited from having a global perspective, a balance between soft and hard skills, as well as industry-ready knowledge and connections. I truly learned within the classroom and beyond the classroom. I transformed in multiple ways. I became more focused, more strategic, more people-oriented. Prior to joining SMU, I was extremely task-oriented, so really gunning down at every single end goal, the end destination. But what I've realized in 4 years here is the importance of having a collaborative mindset. Knowing the people that you work with is extremely important, and that really brings everybody together towards the end goal. And at the end of the day, teamwork truly makes the dream work. My biggest takeaway from SMU is knowing that we as the future generation is able and capable of changing the industry towards a more sustainable direction.
Firstly, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that SMU has given me, the chance to participate in overseas competitions, to explore my interests. Specifically, I was given the chance to participate in 3 different competitions overseas, and that was a very interesting experience, meeting people from other countries and pursuing my interest in international criminal law. On top of that, the school has also given me a very holistic education, the chance to not just study subjects within my discipline, but to explore other areas. For example, taking financial accounting and finance for law. And these are modules which help us to better understand our discipline and situate it within the wider context. The school has cultivated in me a desire to serve. Through community service and pro bono opportunities, I have better understood the impact that we can make, and also have grown my desire to give back to others. So first, I would like to thank God who has seen me through the tough times and given me many opportunities. I also like to thank my family, my parents who have sacrificed a lot for me and allowed me to be who I am today and to be here today as well. My professors have been very nurturing and have looked out for me even beyond the classroom. And lastly, for my seniors and my friends who have walked the journey alongside me and have always been there for me.
After watching that inspiring video featuring our brilliant University Salutatorian and Valedictorian, it is now time to present them with their well-deserved awards. May we now invite SMU Provost Professor Timothy Clark to join us on stage for the presentation of these prestigious awards. Provost, please. Let's welcome Leong Hui Ling to receive her SMU Salutatorian Award. The Kwek Hong Peng Valedictorian Award honors SMU individuals who demonstrate diligence, compassion, and humility, reflecting the values of the late Mr. Kwek Hong Peng, who built the Hong Leong Group while contributing to society. Let's welcome Ezra Lim Pin to receive his Kwek Hong Peng Valedictorian Award and CPI Valedictorian Award. We are honored to have with us today Mr. Sherman Kwek, the grandson of the late Mr. Kwek Hong Peng, here with us today. We would now like to invite Mr. Sherman Kwek to join us on stage for a group photo. Mr. Kwek, please. Thank you. May we invite you back to your seats and Ezra to the rostrum to deliver his valedictorian speech. Ezra, please.
Good afternoon, guest of honor, Mr. Sherman Kwek, SMU Chancellor, Mr. Lim Chi-on, SMU Pro-Chancellor, Mr. Eddie Teo, Honorary Degree Recipient and Founding Chairman of SMU, Mr. Ho Kwon Ping, Chairman of the SMU Board of Trustees, Mr. Piyush Gupta, members of the Board of Trustees, esteemed guests, faculty, staff, parents, and fellow students. I'm deeply grateful for the privilege to be giving this speech today. It is not possible for me to represent the collective experience of all of the graduating students, but allow me to share 3 brief thoughts which I have arrived at upon reflecting on my time in SMU and which I hope will be meaningful to you. First, gratitude. As we celebrate this very special occasion today, let us remember that our achievement is only possible with the support of others. On behalf of all graduates, I would like to thank our families for supporting us. This day is equally a celebration of your sacrifice and love as it is of our achievements. Thank you also to all from the university who have tirelessly worked to ensure that we gain the best learning experience. I hope that we may one day repay your labor of love by embodying the values you sought to impart in us. On a personal note, I wish to thank my family. Mom, Dad, thank you for being excellent role models for us. Your commitment to serve others and love others always inspires me. To my brother Ethan, wherever you're watching this from, thank you for being the best brother that I could ask for. I love you all very much. I'm also grateful to all my professors who have been patient with me and given me numerous opportunities to grow. To my seniors and friends, thank you for sharing the highs and lows of university life together. I'm grateful for the love and support of many of you. Most importantly, I must thank God, who has always been there for me through all the seasons of my life. My friends, as we celebrate this very special day, let us remember to express gratitude to those around us, and let us not procrastinate in doing so, for we never know when we will no longer get the chance to show our appreciation to those who mean the most to us. Second, I wish to speak on the importance of kindness. Now, the notion of kindness is encapsulated in a very old short story of the Good Samaritan. A man was attacked by robbers and left half dead at the side of the road. 2 individuals see the man and deliberately pass by on the other side. But the Samaritan came to where the man was, bandaged his wounds, and brought him to an inn. He tells the innkeeper to care for the wounded man and promises to reimburse him any additional expense. But what is fascinating about this story is that the injured man belonged to a tribe that disliked Samaritans, and yet the Samaritans spared no expense in taking care of him. Now, our batch has sometimes been termed the COVID batch, as many of us entered SMU at the peak of the pandemic in 2020. I personally remember entering university under challenging circumstances. But what really struck me was the kindness that was displayed by everyone. From professors who would make an extra effort to check in on our well-being, to faculty members who would send us encouraging emails, to friends who would send notes to their classmates, those who were ill, many of whom they had not yet met in person or seen before in real life. And as we graduate, let us take some time to reflect on how our individual journeys have been illuminated by various acts of kindness. Indeed, why not reach out to 3 people before the end of today as we recollect their kindness. And even after commencement, I hope that we will continue to keep in touch with our friends, ask them how they're doing once in a while. Let us continue to show kindness to others, even when it is difficult or inconvenient, just as the Good Samaritan did. And lastly, I wish to speak on the importance of justice. I used to think that the word justice was reserved for law and the courtroom, but paradoxically, through my time in law school and in SMU, I've developed a more nuanced understanding of the term. Doing justice goes beyond punishing wrongdoing. It extends to our daily interactions with people, requiring us to treat others fairly. It extends to our service, requiring us to care for the vulnerable in society. Justice is embodied in SMU's commitment to community service and our circle values. And I believe it nicely sums up what SMU has sought to impart in each and every one of us. All of us here today have been equipped with different skill sets to make a difference in our chosen field. Let us strive to do so justly, seizing every opportunity to make a positive difference in society. Finally, to all my fellow graduates, congratulations once again for making it to this milestone today. As we move on to the next phase of our lives, let us continue to look out for each other and continue to be genuine community for one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Ezra.
I know my rent was gonna be late about a week ago. I worked my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get off in this club. Have me a good time before my time is up. Hey, let's get it out.
Time ballin' in that. Tell the bartender, line up some sides, cause I'ma get loose tonight. She's on fire, she's so hot. I'm no liar, she burned up the spot. Look like Mariah, I took another shot. Hold her, drop it like it's hot. Dirty talk, dirty dance. She a freaky girl, and I'm a freaky man. She on the rebound, broke up with her ex, and I'm like Rodman, ready on deck. I told her wanna ride out, and she said yes. We didn't go to church, but I got
I knew my rent was gonna be late about a week ago. I worked my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get off in this club. Have me a good time before my time is up. Hey, let's get it
you know
out.
me, I'm off in the cut. Always like a squirrel, looking for a nut. This is up for show, I'm not talking about luck. I'm not talking about love, I'm talking about lust. So let's get loose, have some fun. Forget about bills in the first of the month. It's my night, your night, our night. Let's turn it up. This for everybody going through tough times. Believe me, been there, done that. But every day above ground is a great day. Remember that.
I knew my rent was gonna be late about a week ago. I worked my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get off in this club. Have me a good time before my time is up. Hey, let's get it now.
Drop top Porsche, rollie on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and I changed the game. It's my big bronze boogie, got all them girls shook. My big fat, got all them boys cook. We're from dollar bills and I be popping rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance like. Flexing on the gram like. Hit the Lil Jon, okay. Oh yeah, we dripping and finesse and getting paid.
Ooh, don't we look good together? There's a reason why they watch all night long. Yeah, I know we'll turn heads forever. So tonight I'm gonna show you off. When I walk away, you
and sassy. She knows what she do when she move. I know it's hard to imagine, but why you keep asking like all this came out of the blue? But I've been like this, I've been like this. Run your mouth, but I'm on your lips. Ain't nothing new. Suit up, 'cause I've been like this. Been like this, been like this. Take your shots while I blow a kiss. Ain't nothing new. Suit up, 'cause I've been like this.
Let's give it up for incredible performers from SMU Eurythmics and SMU Funk Movement. We've reached the conclusion of this momentous opening ceremony, and what a celebration it has been. Please join me in congratulating our graduates once again. May I now invite Mr. Sherman Quek to lead the grand recessional and for all other guests to remain seated.